Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Club. This is the place everyday real estate investors gather to share their best stories, biggest insights, and favorite tactics to grow a portfolio of cash flowing properties in today's market. Here's your host, Gabe Peterson.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Hope you guys are having a good day, whatever day it is for you and wherever you are. As always, it's Friday on the podcast. We like to bring that Friday energy, and we got Amanda Taylor with us on the show to help us bring it. She's from Expand Your Empire, and she likes land, multifamily, and single family rentals. She's a specialist in what she likes to call Frankenstein Funding, aka creative financing. So I'm super excited to jump into this. Amanda, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. I told you before we get on here, we always like starting with stories. We like to hear how people got to where they are. So why don't you take us to the beginning and tell us how you got here?
Yeah, the story is the best part, right? No, I got here by accident, total accident. It was never on the radar. I was in dentistry for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So started with teeth. And when I moved from Texas to Colorado, it was for my ex-husband's job. And I didn't have a career, so to speak. I just managed a dental practice. And so I found a dentist here, and he was only working 2 days a week because he was semi-retired. I had met a lady, and she's like, hey, my husband and his partner just started this real estate investing company. They need somebody like maybe 3 to 5 hours a week to help them do paperwork. They don't like the paperwork. And I'm like,
Nobody
I'm organized. Yeah, who does, right? It's like, well, I'm organized. I can do that. I don't know anything about anything in real estate, but okay. And so it was me learning how to wholesale. You know, they had me sourcing wholesale deals for them. I didn't even know what wholesaling meant. And then learning paperwork and all the stuff. And I'm sitting in this room absorbing all this information and became a sponge, Googling terms. I don't know what LTV means. I don't know what ARV means, but over time, this became the most interesting thing in the world to me. And I just kept saying over and over, you can do that? You can do that? You can make money doing that? You can buy a house like that? And, lo and behold, 8 years later, I have my own, company. I'm doing my own projects. I've got my own portfolio. It became so fascinating to me. I got licensed as an agent because I wanted to sell my own projects without paying somebody else commission. I just ate it up. And the financing piece to me was the most intriguing and exciting. So I tried to find as many cool ways to buy properties as I could.
Awesome, man. I love it. Yeah, it's funny how especially in real estate, it can really snowball. Like you might start with just a flip because you saw it on HGTV or something like that. And then once you do that, you start learning about other asset classes and other ways to close deals. And you just get sucked in. And eventually you realize you got a whole portfolio, you're on podcasts. I love how it works that way. So
yeah, it's fantastic.
So yeah, you like creative financing, Frankenstein Funding, as you said. Let's go to that topic. Tell us how you first kind of got introduced to other ways, alternative ways to finance projects, and then what your current favorite strategies are.
Right. Yeah. Working with these guys, I learned about seller finance. We did some seller finance deals. I learned about subject to before I even, knew who Pace Morby was. We were doing subject to deals and I didn't know that hard money and private money was even a thing. I thought, like most people do, you got to walk into a bank and get a loan for a house. So just being educated on all of the ways to get other people's money to buy a house. And then I got introduced to whole life insurance, which no matter who you talk to, you're going to find somebody who loves it and somebody who hates it. That's fine. It's up to you. But I did start using it as a tool, and I funded it so that I could use it to do some of my rehab or use it for down payment money. However, you wanted to use that. So it's growing over here because I'm a big fan of investing outside of your business in a lot of different vehicles, whether it's real estate or not. I was using it also to do hard money loans myself for other investors. You get the arbitrage on that. That's why I love real estate. You can do so many things. And then we got introduced to some different business credit opportunities and corporate EIN credit that we could get credit lines to get more money that, we could leverage to do these projects and get, different things. So it became this game almost, so to speak. How do we gamify this? And I don't know who owns Frankenstein, Disney or Warner Brothers, but they'll probably come after me eventually for calling it
Hey,
Frankenstein Funding.
if you throw
But
funding on the end of it, I'm sure it's fine.
yeah, but it's just how many different ways can we utilize that leverage that we have? And in doing so, my partner was a lender, but we're both investors. And he had started a business, marketing himself as a lender using technology, automation, CRM, the whole thing. So we started this business development company too, selling that process with the intent of let's help these small businesses run their business better, make more revenue. And hey, guess what? You don't have a retirement plan necessarily as a small business owner, entrepreneur. Let's show you how to invest in real estate, AKA our projects, partner with us, and we'll show you another income stream on how to make money. So we created a business to essentially get more investors to partner with us and do more deals.
Nice. Yeah.
And get other people's money. So
It's surprising how many investors you speak with once you really start getting into real estate. How many of them have additional businesses that they've made within real estate just because they get into it and then they realize there's a problem. They solve it by building another business, and it just kind of grows that way. You've already mentioned wholesale or hard money loans. You lend out your money. What you just mentioned, the sourcing deals for people.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different avenues you can go. Why don't you tell us about the deals that you guys are actually chasing right now? You started in single families, and since then you've kind of branched out. What are the deals that you're looking for?
Right. We are into land right now. Let's bypass all this other stuff. Let's go to the big dog right now. We did an RV park last year. I want to continue to do that. I know you've talked about it on your podcast.
Yeah.
The idea is, let's cash flow this land while it appreciates, and then, buy it in specifically targeted areas so that while we're cash flowing it, it's going up in value. The market around it is building up, and then we can, build up on that land later and sell off either multifamily or some other structure that's going to make a lot of money. I want to have
interesting.
Plan
that is a very unique strategy. So you guys are marketing for RV parks with the intention of later developing it into a different asset, into multifamily or something.
Yes.
Interesting. And so are you developing these projects, or are you buying existing RV?
Depends on the area. We bought an existing RV park already to do that in Texas. We are looking in Florida right now because we've got somebody who can do 3D printed concrete structures. So if we could do little tiny homes in a resort style there, that's another avenue that we could cash flow those as either vacation or short-term rental, however we want to do that. And
so let's pause on that topic for a second, because that is something. I mean, you've already mentioned, that I buy RV parks as well, and finding different types of structures, but homes to bring into the parks is something that we've been really keen on. We've looked at container homes, tiny homes, all that stuff. I've heard of the 3D printed homes, but I haven't. In terms of how cost effective they are compared to other types of structures, I don't really know a lot about it. So you guys are looking at the 3D printed homes. Tell us a little bit more about it. What are you paying per unit? Like what's the cost to build it?
We're just starting to build that out. There's a company out of Australia that we have someone here that, works with them to bring that here. Our goal with that, especially in Florida, is the structure itself is going to be more hurricane.
Yeah, you want it made out of stone.
Right. I mean, the cost of insurance. I'm in Colorado, and now our insurance is ridiculous because of fires and wind and hail.
Yeah.
Florida is going to be the same. We were doing a deal in Miami, and I can't tell you what the insurance was there.
Yeah.
So our goal, even though the structure may be more, we're going to limit some of our costs on any potential damages that are come down the road, as well as the insurance costs.
So you guys are looking at this type of construction mostly for the durability of it.
Absolutely. I don't
Interesting.
want to build something that can get puff blown down in a matter of a year.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Do you know the finances behind it? What does it cost per unit to build a 3D printed home?
I don't yet.
Don't
It's
yet. Okay.
happening. We're
That's
in
fair enough.
talks. My finance guy could probably be on the podcast next. I'll bring him.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where they, you see them being printed. But it
It's
just
fascinating.
seems, yeah, it is fascinating. It is. In terms of, I don't know, just I know how much concrete costs and it is not cheap. And I just can't see it being that much more cost effective than just the stick built home. But I'm curious. I'm really curious to see how it
Yeah.
works out.
In that area, that's what I've got to think that's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
It has to line up. It can't be everywhere, but in those areas, I've got to think.
Yeah.
But our other land projects right now that we're looking at, we've partnered with the gold mining company.
Yeah.
And that, that's a shift. Not quite
How
what
did
I
how did that one come about? How'd you get introduced to the gold mining company? Well, first, actually, tell us what you're doing with the company.
so within that business development actually, we walked on to the wrong floor in a building.
I love those kind of mistakes.
You want to talk about accidents. But within our business development company, we do some business coaching and kind of work through their financials with them.
Mm.
And we had a gold or a client with a gold machine to kind of mine gold. And yes, we were in a building
Are you
and
talking about you say a gold machine, like a gold sifter, or are you talking about an
he's
actual digger?
no, it is a new patent pending
Oh, okay.
machine
All right. Heard it here
to
first.
extract the tiniest pieces
It's
out
like
of
gold
the
fracking.
sand that's left over from the gold. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
And yes, went to the wrong floor in a building and there's a gold mining company and just, why not go in and have a chat? And started working with them on some financial pieces and then kind of got more into it. And because of our real estate background, it's like, all right, here's a lot of opportunity for us to partner on some of this because of where we are in Colorado at the Wyoming border. There are a lot of areas that we could help them lease land that they could go into. And we've already brought in a geologist and a river engineer who know those areas that they could go in and extract some gold from there. So we're partnering with them on leasing that land. And I mean, you can make money out of dirt in so many different ways. And
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
It's
That's my
pretty
favorite
surprising.
thing.
Very cool. So let's go back. I'm, we buy RV parks, so I'm so interested in the RV strategy that you guys have because it's something that we personally do not underwrite to. The future value of the land itself. So tell us what your criteria when you're actually looking for these parks has to be different than traditional RV park buyer like ourselves. We look for things you generally look for. We're looking to increase the NOI and just have a good cap rate. And so, but you guys are looking for probably a 10-year timeline in just the value of the land. How does it change? Where are you guys looking for this land? What is your criteria like when you're looking for these parks?
Right. Obviously, we want it to be somewhere that people want to go now. For that reason that we
Right.
do need to cash flow the
Because
land.
you
So
need yeah.
we need it to cash flow while it's there. But we have to do markets that we know are going to eventually spread. We were
So you're looking
looking,
for path of development, 30 minutes
yes,
outside major metros, that
right.
kind of stuff.
We were outside of Reno
Mm.
for one, because it was moving into Sparks, Nevada. Those type of things that we know eventually that with the industries that are there, I mean, everything has a risk, right? Everything changes. But with the industries that are there and how they are growing and the employees that they're bringing into those things, residents are going to expand. And if we can hold that land and cash flow it while we have it, and they're going to have to build up that area if we own that land already and we can build up multifamily on there to support the industry growth.
Yeah, makes
There we
sense.
go.
So you also have to be assured that you would be able to build multifamily. So it sounds like you're
Right.
probably looking for specific
Zoning.
zoning. Yeah.
Yes.
So you're not looking for recreational RV, anything like that. You're looking for something that has a commercial zoning already.
It depends.
Okay.
That's all and we do look very forward. We want to know what the zoning is. And if it's recreational, what can we do? Who do we know? How can we change if that's even a possibility? We look at all the different things. If it's recreational and we can do it and it's going to cash flow and be there, we had one that had a restaurant attached to it and it was on a lake,
Can't
which is
count
terrible.
me out.
Don't ever do. Yeah.
I never look at RV parks with restaurants. It's
Don't
like,
ever do
I don't
it.
want to think about that.
So that was lesson number one. But it was on a lake and had a bait shop. But if I did it again, I would say lease that out to somebody else who wants to run a business in a restaurant and a bait shop on a lake. And then I'll just take that money and handle my RV park. Yeah. But little things like that. The goal is let's cash flow the land in an area that we predict is going to have some major growth and appreciation in an area that's zoned that we will eventually be able to either sell the land to somebody who's going to develop it or develop it ourselves.
Nice. I like it. That is a unique strategy. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. RV parks, well, it depends on where you buy them. They can be, the cap rates have been going down, especially since people have caught on to the value of a long-term stay RV park, which is our favorite strategy of buying parks. So cap rates have definitely been going down. So I'm sure it's a little bit more difficult to find, parcels of land at a reasonable price that you think you can further develop. But if you can find it, it sounds pretty unique.
And we have boots on the ground in a lot of different places. And, our strategy, however selfish it may be, is like, let's find as many projects and cool places that we want to go so we can just hop around and monitor those projects.
There you go. And you have an RV park to stay at as well.
Yeah, exactly. Got a free place to stay.
All right. Well, hey, it looks like we have run down the clock, so it's time to jump into the quick question round. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Starts with education. It could be any form. It could be a conference you've gone to, mentorship program you've been a part of, book you read, movie you've seen, anything. But I need 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom and then one for real estate.
Oh, man. The person I listen to the most is Alex Hormozy, and it's not.
I love that guy.
It's not necessarily real estate related, but the idea of how he markets, looks at business, looks at opportunities. I would say I've read his book and I listened to his podcasts. I read 2 of his books, so I would say he's probably my go-to, the first that comes to mind. Nice,
yeah. Alex Hormozy, he has really good stuff. I watch him on YouTube a lot, and I like his content. It's pretty insightful. Pretty. It's not. Yeah, I think it's very like standard, but he says it in a way that you're like, duh, of course I should.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. It's like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Next question is for your younger self. So let's go back to the Amanda who was still working in the dentist's office so many years ago. Go back to her, look her in the eye, give her one piece of advice moving forward.
You are way smarter than you think you are and could be capable of so much more. So get out there, and even though you're intimidated, do it anyway.
Face your fears. I love it. Yeah. Great advice. All right, next question is about the U.S. It's a big place. There is a ton of opportunity out there. We're going to answer this question through the lens of your RV park projects. So what metro are you most excited about investing in today?
Like I said, outside areas in Nevada and Southern Florida.
Nevada and Southern Florida. All right. All right. Next question is about finding deals. It all starts with getting in contact with the seller and penning that purchase agreement. So what's your favorite way to generate leads and find new deals?
Yeah, believe it or not, postcards have been my most successful way of sourcing deals.
All right. Yeah. Direct mail is, it's solid. It's solid.
It still works.
I feel like it only works for certain asset classes. I've had a lot of success in mobile home RV with postcards. I've had virtually not zero. I bought 2 self-storage facilities off postcards. But self-storage, I've had a lot less success. Even single family, I've had a lot less success on with postcards. But it does, for some reason, I feel like it works with RV and mobile home parks.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
They don't get hit as much as SFRs, maybe.
There you go. All right, next question is about lessons learned. It's not every deal that we get into goes the way we expect it. In fact, many times something goes wrong, and that's when we get to learn a lesson. So what was a deal that you got into that went a little sideways for you? And then what was the lesson you pulled from it?
It's really, if you're going to partner with somebody, you don't just do your due diligence on the deal, do your due diligence on your partner as well.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah, that is
The most expensive mistake you can make sometimes is who you do a project with.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of partnerships. I think it's really good. It's never fun. Even I don't even like doing projects as a lone wolf, but it's definitely something you need to go into with eyes wide open. Understand exactly what everybody does, what their roles are, and then what their expectations are. And that's just like any relationship, it's the best way is clear communication. So good.
And just like any project, start with the exit in mind. Know that that's a likelihood and at least have it on the table.
There you go. All right. Next question is about money. It does take money to make money in real estate. So what is your favorite way to raise capital?
I have made such good relationships with people who are my hard money lenders. I've actually gotten them, they trust me. They know that they can trust me, and I've been able to work them down to some pretty significant low interest rates on the loans and bring them in as equity partners on the back end. So I think that's been a really successful way for me to do it.
Very smart. All right, that leads us to the very last question. This is for the listeners. You've given us a lot to think about. I'm sure people want to reach out, get in contact with you. This is a two-parter. Where can they find you? And then what can they expect when they reach out?
You can find me at expandyourempire.org. That is my website. Within it, you will find community, coaching, and courses. I've got just about everything on there. My goal is just to educate and empower people on all the investment classes that we have available, as especially self-employed people and entrepreneurs. Obviously, real estate is my favorite, but there is a world of opportunity out there for us to build and grow wealth. We are not limited. And I just want to be there to empower everyone to expand their empires.
Perfect. I love it. All right. I will put that link in the show notes. So if you guys want to reach out to Amanda, all you got to do is just click the little more in the description. It's going to pull down that full description, and in there you can find her links. All right, Amanda, that wraps it up. Thank you very much for hopping on the show.
This was fun. Thank you.
Absolutely. For everybody who's with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, Gabe at therealestateinvestingclub.com. If you guys want to support the show, just leave us a review. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. All right, before I officially sign off, I have a quick announcement to make. If you're interested in becoming a passive investor in one of my deals, my own company, Kaizen Properties, is looking for capital partners for our upcoming projects. We invest in what are known as recession-resistant assets, mainly self-storage facilities, mobile home and RV parks, and industrial properties. If you're interested in investing and would like to learn a little bit more about my company, our investing criteria, and some of the previous projects we've done, go to the Real Estate Investing Club podcast at therealestateinvestingclub.com and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. Click on the Invest With Us button. That'll pop up the investor form. Fill that out, and we will reach back out to you as soon as we can. Or if you prefer a little bit more of a personal touch, you can reach out to me at Gabe at therealestateinvestingclub.com. So really, that is it. Again, it was a pleasure hanging out with you guys during this episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.